Well, we can now speak to Syrian opposition activist Abdul Omar, who is in our Birmingham studio. Mr. Omar, good evening. I'm just reading the lines coming out of Paris where foreign ministers have been meeting, I'm sure you're aware, and it would seem that they do not believe that the Assad regime is complying with the UN peace plan. Hillary Clinton now calling for tougher sanctions. Do you get the feeling that the international community is impotent when it comes to Syria?
Well, I think we have realised the facts, and the facts are that indeed Assad has not abided by any of the points of the peace plan put forward by Annan, and this plan is now working towards preserving the regime as opposed to preserving the livelihood and the well-being of the Syrian people. The international community has to right now start drawing up contingency plans of how to act once this mission is officially declared a failure.
Do you think that Assad ever intended to comply with the peace plan?
Let's be realistic over here. We cannot expect a regime which the United Nations, human rights organizations and the international community in general label as having committed crimes against humanity to magically manifest itself into a democratic one. This is not a regime that has shown any signs of wishing to reform, and it has shown every sign that it is willing to go continuously crushing the opposition.
They have allowed observers into the country, only 30. The UN want to see 300. Do you think that could make a difference?
Well, 30 observers are obviously going to do absolutely nothing. We have more exam invigilators in universities these days. 300, well, if we are to draw a parallel, in 1998, the international community sent 2,000 observers into Kosovo, a country of less than 2 million people. Syria has got a population of almost 22 million, that's 10 times more. Yet we are sending 8 times less observers. They will have the same fate, sadly, as the observers of the Arab League mission.
So what would you like to see happening now?
Well, we should now start seeing the international community drawing up contingency plans for the day that this mission is declared a failure and try to do things differently. We are calling on the international community to actually understand that urging or requesting or talking to Assad is not going to drive any differences as we have seen so far. We must continue strengthening the opposition and arming them in ways that allow them to overthrow this brutal regime that has been killing over 10,000 people over the past year.
So what do you make then of these calls for tougher sanctions this evening coming from Hillary Clinton?
Well, we should enforce these sanctions in whatever way they mean. Hillary Clinton has to be more precise by what she means as sanctions. These economic sanctions have been put in place. I don't think we can go any tougher in terms of economic sanctions. The West does not have as much leverage on Assad economically. We should start thinking about how we support the opposition in terms of drawing plans on the ground. We should start talking about buffer zones that allow defections and allow those defectors to regroup and organise themselves against the regime.
You're here in the safety of the UK. How does it make you feel, though, to see what's happening inside Syria?
Well, we have sadly become accustomed to seeing these images coming out of Syria day in, day out. Children, women being murdered every day by the hundreds on the worst of days. And we are seeing secretaries continuously reiterating messages that will never be any intervention. Well, to a dictator, sadly, this is yet another green light. We should start changing the language that we use against Assad. If certain governments are not prepared to support the opposition, they should at least support them with the way they speak. Every time William Hague says there will be no intervention, that's a green light. Now it's time to use some more forceful language and to put all options on the table.
Abdul Omar, Syrian opposition activist in Birmingham. Thank you very much indeed.